living a life that leaves no mark on the earth, I think is a mistake. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Jeff Heilman Project. We are still wearing the same clothes because we are continuing going on with you this expensive journey of the top 10 most expensive things in 2023. We covered in our last episode the top 5, counting down from 10. Number 10 was the 1962 Ferrari GTO. I'm sure it was in red, and you said that's the one that was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah, the 62 GTO convertible.
Okay. Number 9 was carinsurance.com, the domain name, which sold for $49.7 million. Still blows my mind. Number 8, the Graph Hallucination Watch, which we just pulled up on the computer. It is breathtaking. It's got 110 carats of diamonds in various shapes and colors. So it's got pink and yellow and green, and you'll definitely want to check that one out. Number 7 is the Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bar, and that was at the New Gallery in New York from Gustav Klimt. Number 6 was Jeff Bezos' Beverly Hills house for $165 million. And if you've ever had the opportunity to go to Beverly Hills, we've been to the Beverly Hills Wilshire. We haven't stayed there, but we've definitely looked at it.
Yep.
Did you ever, I remember when I was about 6 years old, we actually did the bus that did the tour of the stars.
Oh, that's cool. No, I never did that.
Which was kind of fun. Now you really don't see the houses; you see the gates.
Yeah, you see the gates.
This is
behind
where
this gate is where Al Pacino lives. Yeah.
Or Elton John or whatever has his summer house or something. So that's kind of cool. But I really like. There's something really special still about Beverly Hills. It's very conservative, actually. It's one of those rare moments when I've been driving through LA and I've seen Trump rallies outside in the park at Beverly Hills.
And the houses, it's not just one really nice house.
It's not.
It's like $10 million house next to another, one after another after another.
It's a pocket of. I mean, if Bezos is buying $165 million house, I guarantee that his next door neighbor's house is $120 million.
Also north of $100 million.
Exactly. So, it's really a very interesting place. It's very sunny. It's close to Hollywood. You got a lot of your A-listers, which have found, I think that they can pretty much walk around and not be, they feel safe there in their lack of anonymity. Wasn't there a rumor that the police station drove Porsches? There was like some rumor at one point because they've got a private police department. I don't know. But anyways, if you want to check out Beverly Hills, it's a very fun, kind of interesting
They had a cool
characters.
little restaurant that we went to.
It
was like just off. It was like one block off.
We
Rodeo.
had brunch, and you met the guitar player who invited us back to the
super fun.
hotel pool. Who knows what? Have a Beverly Hills party.
We didn't go.
I won't know. So anyways, these things, the reason why we bring these up is we're not materialistic people. We try to live humble, normal, everyday lives, but it does make our brain expand at the possibility of creating
the imagination
art and the imagination. The fact that the carinsurance.com, somebody had enough foresight to see something as simple as carinsurance.com, buy it, and then later turn around and sell it for $49 million is definitely had vision, had foresight. So the number 5, counting down now from number 5, we already know number 1, but if you have not listened to the episode prior to this, then you will know that we've already named number 1. And this is equally as exciting for you. Number 5, with stocks and investments tumbling in a bear market, it's not just individual investors who are opting to invest in art and other tangible items. The nation of Qatar recently spent $250 million on the French artist Paul Cézanne's work, The Card Players.
Wow.
So the nation of Qatar spent $250 million on a
Good
Ceźanne.
job, Paul.
That Ceźanne was called the Card Players.
I'm just thinking about that.
You got a moment?
Paul Ceźanne,
Yes.
$250 million.
Yes.
He probably made it for like $4.
And some hours. There were
And
some hours in there.
And he was good at what he did. I don't know if you guys like Ceźanne. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I like Ceźanne stuff. He's part of that same crew of
Here's
Monet.
I'll show you, and then maybe Andrew can show
we gotta
later.
put
But that's the Card Players, the Ceźanne Card Players.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
$250 million beautiful. That's tough, right? Because it's each to the individuals. But
Can you imagine being in a position to where an entire nation decides to invest in your work to draw people, tourists to?
The money goes down in value, and the art draws tourism.
That's right.
Tourism. So
that's right. So,
wow, thank you for showing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So the Card Players. Paul Ceźanne.
I mean, is it bad that my first impression was the dogs playing poker when I read the Card Players?
No, it is not.
Is that the dog playing poker one?
Well, it is not the hound dogs at the card table.
So the next one, number 4, in 2017, and so these are what's worth current day in 2023. In 2017, Christie's auctioned off Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi for $450.3 million. The seller was Russian oligarch Dmitry Rybolovlev. Sorry, guys.
Good job, Dmitry.
Rybolovlev, who had purchased the masterpiece from Jeff Bouillet. He later accused Bouillet of fraud, alleging the Swiss art broker had overcharged him $1 billion for a number of works, including the Salvator Mundi. But $450.3 million for Leonardo da Vinci Salvator Mundi. Number 3, a mansion on the French Riviera named Villa Leopolda holds the title of the second most expensive private residence. The building served as a hospital during World War II and has changed hands several times since its construction in 1902 for Belgian King Leopold II.
Wow.
For $506 million. You too can buy Villa Leopolda on the French Riviera.
French Riviera. That's got to be, so it's either Cannes or Nice or Saint-Tropez.
This says in 2008, Russian billionaire Mikhail Prokhorov purchased the villa.
Mikhail Prokhorov.
Yes.
Fundamentals are the building blocks of fun.
Number 2. Bum, 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 bum. We're almost to number 1. I'm sure you're holding your breath. But number 2. And I have actually seen a picture of this. So I'm going to kind of stall a minute. Why don't you talk to our viewers so I can pick up this picture for you?
You should pick up the picture for me. So, again, we're talking about boats, cars, houses, and watches, ladies and gentlemen. That's what people spend their money on. Art, things that... And let's talk about that a little bit. Andrew, I'd love to call on you. Why is it that you think people spend so much money on art? Any ideas or thoughts on that?
It's either physical value or sentimental value.
It might be both, right? Art is actually a mechanism for wealth preservation. I don't know that it started out to be that way, but it has certainly turned out to be that way.
And I think it definitely provokes us to feel. And anytime that we are provoked to feel, whether it's through physical art, whether it's through moving motion pictures, whether it's through photography, or if it conjures a reaction, people tend to pay for it. I mean, look at, sex sells, drugs sell, it makes a reaction. And there's a reaction that either reminds us that we're human and that we need to feel things.
Yep.
Or it reminds us that we're human and that we're not above drudgery. Like, we are above drudgery. We do not want to have to live the same day and Groundhog Day every single day for the rest of our life. And people will pay to be pulled out
There's three things. There's 3 things that I really don't want to ever be without. One is my original King James Bible that you bought for me for our second Christmas.
Yeah.
that has notes and thoughts and dreams and things that I've written in there and underlining. And I don't want to be without that.
So this goes to if the house was on fire.
If the house was on fire, what do you grab?
What do you grab?
I'm going to grab probably my laptop so I can keep working. But the Mont Blanc pens can be replaced. Those aren't really, those are nice and I love them and I use them all the time. But my grandfather's Patek Philippe that I inherited a couple of years ago, it is 3546 is the reference number in solid 18 karat gold, including the matching buckle and buckle tine, in perfect condition. He was a Marine and just was really meticulous about taking care of things. So I would grab that, and then I would grab the painting that Raymond Waddy did of their house in Dallas. Those are the three things that I think are the most sentimental to me, along with my backpack and my laptop bag. And my kids, right? My kids and my family. Obviously, we got to get them out. But if the house was on fire, I would get Granddad's Patek Philippe, my Bible, and the oil painting that Raymond Waddy did at my parents' house. So, my grandparents' house. Those are kind of the big three for me. Yeah. What about you? Do you have
there's
anything
so
aesthetic?
many.
Drum roll here for number two.
There's so many. There's so many sentimental things that I mean. When you choose, as we choose to live, we don't just purchase stuff. We don't, I have a lot of stuff. We have collected a lot of stuff. I'm not a minimalist, but a big part of not being a minimalist is I believe that the trend to leave no mark is a mistake. I think that the enemy, whatever you call that enemy, is who seeks to kill, devour, and destroy, also wants to remove your presence from this planet. And so living a life that leaves no mark on the earth, I think, is a mistake. I think that there's a reason why people get excited about archaeological digs and finding pots and broken pieces of civilization. People want to know that there's stories. And so we have a lot of things that are there are a few times when I've gone into a store like Target and I've seen a picture or a painting and I've been like, that moves me and I really like it and I want to buy it. But those are so few and far between. I mean, every single piece of art on our walls was either done by a family member or done by me or done by an artist. And so we choose to be very deliberate about what we put on our shelves and what we put in our home and what we look at. And while there are a lot of things, everything has a story. So it's very difficult for me to think I'd grab my preference is the house doesn't burn down.
Yeah, don't burn the house down. That's the key to that phrase.
But then my faith says it's all just stuff, and it's if it's one day I'm going to die and it's not going to matter anyway. But there are definitely quite a few things, especially going through my grandma's house this last few weeks, that are just like, wow, that's really touching. Like I found a little card in her desk when I went through her secretary, which was actually belonged to my great grandmother from the 1800s, her desk.
Amazing.
And there's this little card in it. And it said on the envelope, it's in the envelope, and it's got Jessica in my grandma's handwriting on the outside of the envelope.
Wow.
And then you open it, and it's a Mickey Mouse card, a little blank card, and it's got Mickey Mouse on the front. And you open it, and it's like, just because I love you, and it's in her handwriting, and it was to me. And that's like, well, if my house is burned down, I'm going to grab that, So there's just so many things. I really like to make sure that we don't buy things for the sake of them being things. I like to make sure that whenever we travel, when you and I travel, I try to get something on the road for the house so that we can begin to build and have a curio of our adventures and being able to have something from France or something from Israel. And so I want to make a mark, as much of a pain in the butt it is to go through all of grandma and grandpa's house after 60 years, not pain in the butt physical, it's emotional. It's just a pain. They left a mark that cannot easily be erased. This is not just turn the key and walk out moment. This is a months and months and months of sifting and going through and deciding what's sentimental, what's valuable, what's trash, what's this, what's that, because these people left and we're not mad at them. And so burn the house down or sell it like it is and just, they died. We loved that. Everyone in the family was so much in love with them and how they made an impact and how they left that permanent mark that it's taking us time to go through.
Yeah, we have to take time. It's
and every
appropriate to do it.
little thing of 60 years of collecting. And sorry, Andrew, sorry, kids that are listening, but I have a feeling you guys are going to have to go through the same thing. But you know what? We're here to stay. And you guys will get to decide what's valuable, what's sentimental, and hopefully we'll do a better job of just throwing out trash. But the point being is that we hope that to leave behind a legacy that each and every item off of every shelf of our house, you have to think about it before you discard it.
Yeah, that it would be beautiful, that we would live a life of beauty, that we would be surrounded with beautiful things, that we would have beautiful memories, and that we would make people feel good when we're with them. I mean, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I mean, you and I have had pretty much everything we've needed for a long time, and now we're kind of going on this aesthetic kick of cool, beautiful things. And it's wonderful. It's cool to see what, we had some pots, some pottery or something that we bought. The 3 vases that were hand thrown down in Santa Fe 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's actually printed on the bottom of them, but it's at one of the
ceramic
boutique
pottery
places there. Mm-hmm. But there's a story behind it, and there was a person behind that business that
an artist
that threw those vases on a clay pottery wheel and then built a store, which was her dream, to sell her wares. And I mean, I just feel connected to that person who put the physical work into creating those objects, which now sit on our dining room table that we get to enjoy every day. I mean, and they weren't that much, maybe $150, $200 maybe for
I think they were $60 a piece.
Yeah.
It was like $120.
$150 to $200, right? And here we have this memory for the rest of our lives for a couple $100 of this lovely human who put work into creating something amazing, and we get to enjoy it every time we see it. So it's,
and part of this,
some people might think that that's just ridiculous.
But when you're intentional about your curation of your items, and you choose to have a story or be able to pass down, it's like stained glass windows in a church. Those initially were created for people who didn't know how to read, but you could point up and you could say, okay, well, this is the picture of this and this is a story. And we pass these stories down from generation to generation to generation. A big part of me going through and curating through my grandmother's things is she told me the stories. And now it's my job for the things that I keep to tell our children the stories, and those same with those vases. Those we get to sit every time we're at dinner, and we can remember, and we can have an opportunity to share our story. Hey everybody, this is Jessica. I'm so excited to offer to you this new service and this ability that you have to text in your questions, comments. Maybe you have some situations that you'd love for Jeff and Jessica to try to tackle along with you. You can text us now at 203-646-1472. Your phone carrier may have standard rates that apply, it being a text, but this is a free service from us to you in which we would like to participate with you in an ongoing conversation about how we can help and what we can possibly do for you. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Speaking of stories, coming in at number two. If you've ever wanted to live in the world's most expensive house, you'll find it in Mumbai, India. The 27-story building towers over others. So it's a 27-story building in the skyline and boasts 3 helipads, 9 elevators, a 50-seat home theater, and other luxuries. It is owned by billionaire Mukesh Ambani, the richest man in India, who has a net worth of $84.2 billion, according to the Forbes Real-Time Billionaires list. Antilia, the building, has its own Wikipedia page, and I'll just read the little the initial description.
I love all the research you do on these things.
Antilia is a private residence in the Billionaires Row of Mumbai, India, named after an island from 15th century Spanish tales of the Atlantic Ocean, Antilia. It is the residence of Indian billionaire Mukesh Ambani and his family. The building is designed to withstand a magnitude 8 earthquake. The top 6 floors are a private residential area. The structure's design incorporates the lotus plant and the sun. The structure is 27 stories, 173 meters tall, over 6,070 square meters, and with amenities such as a 168-car garage, a ballroom, 9 high-speed elevators, 50-seat theater, terrace gardens, swimming pool, spa, health center, a temple, and a snow room that spits out snowflakes from the walls. As of 2014, it's considered the most expensive private residence, costing between US $1 and $2 billion to build. And here is a picture of what the building looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you got 80 billion, you can give a couple
there you
to that.
go. So that is number 2.
Wow.
And coming in at number 1, drum roll, is the History Supreme Yacht, coming in at $4.5 billion.
You could buy an aircraft carrier for that.
So I'm going to go ahead and read. I'm going to go ahead and read the article. There's a little page article that I found. The Midas Touch, $4.8 billion History Supreme is the most expensive yacht ever sold. We've seen some opulent yachts, but the 100-foot History Supreme takes the gold-encrusted cake. Stuart Hughes, a British purveyor of luxury gadgets, took a break from his role as an iPad alchemist to create the $4.8 billion super yacht, covered in platinum and gold from bow to stern. Purchased by an anonymous Malaysian businessman, History Supreme is the most expensive yacht
He's not
ever
anonymous
sold.
in the harbor. He wouldn't be anonymous for very long.
According to Luxury Launches, the Daily Mail reports that the impressive vessel took 3 years to complete and used over a staggering 220,462 pounds of precious metals. Everything from the base of the boat to the deck, dining area, rails, and anchor are decked out in gold and platinum. The anchor? I'm sorry. I'm like tripping over my own tongue.
You make an anchor out of gold.
The anchor? Really? Okay, just keep reading. The exorbitant price tag is also the result of the lavish master bedroom, adorned in platinum with a wall feature that is made from meteoric stone and a genuine T-Rex dinosaur bone. Am I being punked? I don't know. It is rumored that Robert Koch purchased
Superman
the super
does
yacht.
not go on the boat because it's kryptonite.
Super yacht worth 10 times the amount Roman Abramovich, previous title holder for world's most expensive yacht,
Take your word
paid
for it.
for the Eclipse mega yacht. Koyak is one of only 3 Malaysians with a net worth of $5 billion or more. If the purchase price is accurate, the most likely buyer is Robert Koch, the richest man in Malaysia, with a net worth of $12.5 billion.
That's a lot.
We may not have any gold-fringed yachts for sale, but Atlantic Yacht and Ship features a wide variety of yachts. Okay, so...
Thank you for playing.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Jeez.
So back to our original article. The History Supreme yacht is not the largest in the world. That honor goes to Jeff Bezos' super yacht, Koru, at 417 feet. But Koru costs a mere $500 million. The History Supreme took 3 years to design, is outfitted with some of the world's most priceless materials and amenities. The yacht features gold platinum structural fittings plus gold alloys in the base, deck, railings, dining area, and anchor. And here is a picture, my husband, of, look at the gold. The gold, is that the bow? What is it?
That's a $4 billion boat.
Bedroom.
Lemon lime, lemon homer. What is this?
It's worth what you're willing to, I guess it's worth what you're willing to pay for it, right?
So you're telling me that's not yacht brass.
No, that's not brass. That's gold, including the anchor and the rails.
Every time he drops anchor, he loses $10,000 in gold.
I just want to know who. I mean, if the chain
220,000 pounds of precious metal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There you go. So, like you said, he's not going to remain anonymous for long in that yacht.
No, I don't think he likes precious metals. Amazing. Well, that is a really cool list. So, are we going to do the?
So that's it.
Go through the list again?
Okay, let's go through the list. Starting at in the last episode we did. We can do from 15. We'll go from 15 down.
Okay, fine. Let's do 15.
Dead Shark, number 15.
Dead Shark, $8 million.
$8 million.
Yep.
Mariah Carey's engagement ring. A little extra about that. Her fiance James Packer spent $10 million on the ring, but she's worth over $300 million. So I don't know. That's not even 10% of what she's worth.
Not for the boat.
I think he could do better.
Okay.
Number 13, the Perfect Pink Diamond at $23 million.
Diamond. Yep.
Number 12 is the Chopard 201 carat gemstone watch.
Should I get a picture of that?
This says this timepiece features 874 individual gemstones, including 3 heart-shaped diamonds, ranging from 11 to 15 carats each, all with flawless clarity.
Of course.
They form a pattern and open like flower petals to reveal the watch's face. I can get it.
Yeah, we'll get it. That's
right. Get it going right now.
Number 11.
Number 11 is that giant clock, which can go for 10,000 years.
Good, because that's what we need.
And then number 10 was the 1962 Ferrari GTO.
I like that one. That's good.
The number 9 is carinsurance.com. Number 8 is the Graph Hallucination watch.
Gemstone encrusted
The number
thing.
7 is
That's pretty cool. When you have a minute, take a look at the Graph
Hallucination watch. The Adele Bloch-Bauer painting, wow. Jeff Bezos' house. The Card Players painting by Ceźanne, number 5.
Ceźanne, yep.
Number 4, the Salvator Mundi. Number 3, Villa Leopolda. At a paltry $506 million.
Yep.
Antilia, the 27-story tower house.
Antilia.
For $2 billion, including I'm doing the math of 168 car garage. The vehicle's worth, you'd
have to hire a team of people just to start the cars to keep the batteries from running out.
The whole thing
amazing.
that I've always, you get kind of into this quandary, especially when you start leveling up on your apparel. Because once you start leveling up on the apparel and purchasing things like tuxedos, there are events that are you're not going to have a tuxedo just hanging in the closet and not going anywhere. Like, there are events, and these events also cost money. So really blowing the cap off of what we can see, it's not, you get a dress, you get a really fancy dress, you go and like we've looked at some beautiful Alexander McQueen's at Neiman Marcus, which go for like $3,000 for a dress. Well, you're not going to be putting that on and going to Jake's Pizza and wearing a 3,000. So there's a whole your entire environment. So I'm thinking of this house, the
polo grounds,
this
cities. Like, we couldn't live here. You can't live here and have
You got 168 cars. That costs something to take up a garage. You got all the furniture, the maintenance, the monthly maintenance on a. Anyways, I'm not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. I'm just trying to say that like we got to think bigger. And it's not because we have to think bigger for us, but the benefit. This man that has 27-story house has got to have probably 150 people on his payroll. How many people did Rockefeller have on payroll at Biltmore for that house? Just to run the stinking house.
He loved golf. And so since he liked privacy, he needed to have a golf course. But he lived on the East Coast, so they have 4 seasons. So he had 4 golf course houses. So he could move with the seasons so that he could always play golf every day at 12 o'clock. And he had between 75 and 150 people on staff per property.
Yeah.
times 4 properties, so 400 or 500 people on staff taking care of polishing the silver and taking care of everything.
That at that rate is a business in its own.
He lived on less than 1% of the dividend income for his Standard Oil stock.
Yeah, so
he couldn't spend it all. It's impossible.
It's our job here at the Jeff Heilman Project to encourage you not to settle. And settling.
That's right.
Settling a lot.
Unless you're in a lawsuit, then I would settle.
Settling, 9 times out of 10, settling for status quo or less than status quo, or just settling to stop dreaming and stop thinking and stop growing means it's okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to, wherever you believe in at the afterlife wise, you're covered. The impact, though, on the people in your life, on the employees, on the people that you could be, is, let's say you're against being rich and you don't want to have a lot of money, but being
against being rich, you probably already turned this podcast off.
My point being is, if you don't want it to be all about the money and you don't want to be rich, we're still going to encourage you to go out and make a ton of money and give it all away. Be a vehicle. You have the capacity to pass it on. You don't need to keep it. You don't need to have it be all about you. You could totally pull a Steve Jobs and wear black T-shirts and jeans and have nobody know that you've got any money, but let it be funnels, be channels going through you and out to somebody. Think. Be the one in your group of friends that thinks. Because if you're the one in your group of friends that think, then your friends are going to greatly benefit, and you're going to find that you will be able to pay other people's bills for them. You will be able to buy other people's food. You will be able to, if you can even conceive to even think and dream, well, someday maybe I will have a yacht, because if it could happen for them, it could happen for me. Just think about all the people that you'll be able to help along the way in the process of getting to the point.
And the truth is, think of all the people that were working on a $4 billion boat.
I know.
I mean, you're paying salaries for those guys.
That's right. And you're gonna, if you can afford to build a 27-story house in Mumbai and have, 200 people on staff, you are employing others through your vision of what you could see.
You could say you could give all that money to the poor. Who do you think's building that house?
Yeah.
They're creating jobs from people that are willing to work, craftsmen that have an artistry penchant.
Or build what you see in your mind and let it be as opulent, let it dream as big, build it, and then donate it. There's museums.
Build churches, build hospitals.
Absolutely. But somebody's got to stand up and be counted. Somebody's got to stand up and raise their hand.
And the only way you're going to get that kind of money is by serving lots and lots of people anyway, which means, if you can create systems that automate a lot of the process of serving people. I mean, look at things like penicillin. People got rich off of penicillin. Pfizer, Big Pharma, you could talk about, Big Pharma's evil. Well, they might be evil, but they also save tens of thousands of people's lives every day that could die of tuberculosis. Or you take a Z-Pack and it goes away in a week.
Yeah. And another thing that we've learned out of these last 2 episodes is if you are a closet artist and you've got something that you've done, whether it's a sculpture or a painting or a picture or something or an animation, publish it. Go and just see. Go see the response. Go get a venue. Stand on the street corner. Put your stuff out there. Get your stuff out there, because you never know when it's going to be that thing that somebody just can't live without, and it provokes feeling in them, and it makes them want to be able to have more of what it is that you're creating. This episode is one more episode in 2024. Our word for the year is impact. We hope that this message has impacted you and caused you to dream a little bigger, get a little bolder, and get out there and share your stuff, because you are a priceless work of art. And as a priceless work of art yourself, you will create priceless moments for others.
Yeah. And imagine how you feel when you see something that you really appreciate, or when you see a presentation that's done really well, or a movie that's done really well. I think if we just bury ourselves in, I love Eminem's his rap song, "Lose Yourself in the Music." Right? If you lose yourself in the music of doing something that's creative, that's beautiful, that serves other people, they're going to want to experience that more than whatever they want whatever the cost to them, whatever the dollar amount is, and you'll be able to make all the money you'd ever need to make to have a great life and go on and serve people. So grateful to you for being with us. Great for being is the condensed version of that sentence. But thank you for coming into our home
Thank
and
you
being
for
a
letting
part
us
of our
make
life.
an impact on your day, and
Hope you
we
have a
pray
great
that it
rest
will
of your week.
continue to bless you. Goodbye.
Ciao.